I was wondering if you could go over some of your short-term plans if you were to become governor, and also your long-term thoughts on what you'd like to see.
Of course. Yeah. The first thing I want to do, Scott, when I become governor is expand Medicaid on day one. I mean, this is going to provide, healthcare to hundreds of thousands of South Carolinians. It's going to create 40,000 new jobs in that sector. And it's also going to provide healthcare to our uninsured veterans as well, and taking care of those who have taken care of us. So that can be done immediately, on day one. We also want to raise teacher pay, a 10% raise across the board. And we have a problem here in South Carolina. Our teachers are leaving in droves, and it's a crisis. 1 out of 7 teachers left their classroom just last year, and it's because they feel disrespected. They're overworked and underpaid, and we want to change that. And so by the end of my administration, as to the long-term plan, is to get their starting salary from $36,000 a year to $50,000 a year for starting salary. And I think that can be done. And I think there's appetite for that on both sides of the aisle.
Is that going to be difficult to accomplish, or do you think that could be something very doable?
Well, look, I mean, these are things that I've spent the last couple of years doing in Washington, D.C., bringing people together, Democrats and Republicans. And if I can bring people together in Washington, D.C., I can sure do it right here in South Carolina. And I was happy that I got 2 of my bills through a divided Congress and signed into law by President Trump. And again, I think it's that attitude and that work ethic that we need in Columbia. South Carolinians need a governor of the future, not one of the past. And that's the point of this campaign. And that's the objective, is to take our state out of the past and into the future.
With the possibility of Roe versus Wade being overturned, what are your thoughts on what you would do as a governor if that were to happen?
Look, I trust women to make these decisions about their own body. And that's a contrast between where I am and where Governor McMaster is, because Governor McMaster wants to ban all abortions and have no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. And the only thing standing in the way of a total and complete abortion ban with no exceptions is my veto pen. That is it. And that's something that I think voters need to know as they're heading to the polls, is that where Governor McMaster is, he's on the far, far extreme on this issue. And he's disconnected with South Carolina. He's the oldest governor in South Carolina's history. And he's been in politics literally longer than I've been alive. And as a result, he's become disconnected with the voters and the people that he's supposed to represent. We can protect the Second Amendment and have common sense gun safety measures. These two are not mutually exclusive. Look, I'm a gun owner. I grew up around guns. I've got my concealed weapon permit. But I, along with 90% of other Americans, believe that we should have background checks and we should close the Charleston loophole. But this governor's solution to this crisis is to do nothing. Our state has the highest crime rate we've ever had. After 6 years of him being in office, where is he taking us? To the very top of the crime rate. That's why it's time for a change. We have a lot of things to fix in our schools, but we got to start with putting teachers in the classrooms and keeping them in the classrooms. And I see it as it's an immediate crisis right now. My oldest brother teaches special ed at a public school. He's taught for over 20 years. He's a fabulous teacher. But like most other teachers, he's feeling a little burned out because of the, and this is a common theme that when people leave any job, they leave because they feel underappreciated or disrespected. And when our governor wants to keep paying starting teachers in the upper $30,000 a year with inflation the way that it is, they can't cover their rent. And we've had these discussions. I've been across the state sitting down and having roundtable discussions with teachers and listening. And what they're telling me is they can't afford their rent. They can't afford groceries. They can't afford their bills with what they're being paid right now. And on top of that, you got politicians telling them what to do. And now some of them encouraging them to pack pistols instead of pencils and take and be soldiers in the schools. Look, we've got to pay them more. We got to appreciate them more, but we also have to look at to bring in new people into the profession. And when I've talked about tripling the scholarships for those who are wanting to become teachers from $3,000 to $9,000, and those are things we need to look at. Paid family leave for teachers as well. You know, the state legislature just passed and it's got signed into law, family leave for state employees, but not teachers. Teachers been left behind once again by this governor. And that's not going to happen because I want to be a governor of the future. I want to take South Carolina into the future.
And what about infrastructure? Are there certain projects that you're particularly interested in accomplishing?
I mean, we're dead last in roads. We're 50th in the nation. So you can take your pick. You know, someone told me the other day that we don't need signs welcoming people into South Carolina when they drive into our state, because you can feel it. And that's evident no more than any other case than I-26. And we want to expand I-26 from North Charleston all the way to North Carolina. And, you know, look, Governor McMaster vetoed a bill to fix our roads. He vetoed it. He also criticized the bipartisan infrastructure bill and he criticized the American Rescue Plan, but he pushed himself up to the front of the line to cut the ribbons for projects that are being funded by that. That's what people hate about politics. And that's what people hate about career politicians. We got 745 structurally deficient bridges in our state. 745 structurally deficient bridges. And people got to ask themselves, like, do I know where those are? Did I drive over one today? Are my kids riding across one now? Like, we have got to do better than what we've been doing. And it's apparent that after 40 years of being a politician, he's taken us nowhere but the bottom of every list that we need to be at the top of. I would love for South Carolina to be the #1 manufacturer of electric vehicles. And not just the vehicles, but the parts and the suppliers and the whole supply chain right here in South Carolina. And you think about where we're at, you know, in Charleston, we're going to have the deepest port along the eastern seaboard. We have the skeleton of an infrastructure and an interstate system that can accommodate traffic and transportation if we have the vision and the funds to improve that. And again, we need to be first, not last. Yeah, I know Governor McMaster and the legislature would prefer to bribe companies into coming here by giving $500 million a year in tax incentives. And when I talk to CEOs and business owners who are looking to relocate or looking to expand in South Carolina, the things that they look at are how good are the schools, how's the infrastructure, and is the workforce healthy and educated? So we've got to pay our teachers more to improve the quality of our schools, because business owners and the employees don't want to send their kids to a failing school. We've got to expand Medicaid so that everybody has access to quality and affordable healthcare. And we've got to start investing more in our roads. And that's why our proposal is to legalize marijuana, legalize sports betting, and then take that tax revenue and pay our teachers more and fix our roads. That's our vision for the future. And that's where we want to take South Carolina.